You know that you're equipped. You are equipped. And you have what people are looking for. Not only that, you have what most people are looking for, despite your buildings, despite where you meet, despite your shortcomings. As long as you're providing spiritual growth, as long as you're providing an avenue for community, and as long as you're providing things for those spiritual needs that people want and expect in a church, then you're good to start promoting. Okay? Once you start promoting your church, how do you make it so your church is the one people visit? There are numerous kinds of people that are looking for a church. There are those that just moved into the area and they're already churchgoers and they're just looking for a new church to plug in. Those are honestly the most frustrating people to market to because they're so nitpicky. They come in and they want to change things like they are. You can go after those people and we can help you go after those people. But I much prefer people that like have a hole in their heart and they know it. There's a hole in their heart and they're like, I need something new, right? And those could be new movers that are coming in looking for a fresh start. They're either coming out of a bad relationship, coming out of a significant life change, or they just graduated, just got married and they're looking to start a new thing. And what a better time to get someone plugged into the church when they're already in the mindset of something new. Okay. You're also gonna be reaching out to people that maybe had another significant life change, sometimes good, sometimes bad, right? And very rarely do people come to church and look for Jesus when things are going good, right? We know that as church leaders. So you're gonna have people that are going through significant life changes. We talked about this in our Facebook ads that you can actually show Facebook ads to those people. You can't learn about them. Facebook knows about them, but you can tell Facebook to show ads to those people. And then you've got people that are just curious, right? They know that they need something more in their life. And when you promote yourself as the place where that spiritual growth can happen, not the place that meets Sundays at 11, but the place that spiritual growth can happen, all right, you can then speak to their lives and reach those people. Now, listen, I want you to understand, before we go into the data, I want you to understand something here. And this is really is what separates growing churches from stagnant churches. I won't even say dying church. I'm just going to separate growing from stagnant, okay? There are a lot of churches doing good work that are just stagnant. They're plateaued, right? The number of people that leave pretty much equal the number of people that come in, all right? And I want you to understand this because once you understand this, it's actually kind of freeing, okay? It's kind of like when you do ministry and you're trying to do everything and you realize that the most freeing thing to bring more health to your ministry is saying no. Right? A pastor that says yes to everything is a pastor that doesn't get much done and probably has a rocky relationship at home. A pastor that knows his focus, knows his vision, can make easy decisions, has a happier relationship at home, has a better relationship with his kids, and tells people no, but it's to protect his ministry, his family, and his mental state. So understanding that, you'll understand what I'm about to say. You won't make everyone happy. You are not equipped to serve everyone. And think of it like you've got a group of people. Let's take your finance committee, if it's 3 or more people, maybe even like your whole church staff or your whole church leadership, a group of 10, 12, 15, 20 people, okay? Maybe you're a large church. I don't know why you're watching this. You're more than welcome to watch this, but my show is mostly for churches sub 300, okay? But if you're over 300, great. I hope you learn from this, but you're going to have like 50 people, which makes this analogy even more true, actually. And you tell the committee, we're going to vote, and we all have to agree we're going to get ice cream for this meeting. What ice cream should we get? What ice cream do you think you're going to get if you ask 12 to 15 to 20 to 100 people what kind of ice cream they want? You're going to end up with vanilla because no one's going to agree on everything. One person's allergic to nut. One person's allergic to chocolate. One person doesn't like marshmallow. One person doesn't like Bluebell. I don't know why they're on the committee. They should be excommunicated from the church. They don't like Bluebell. This person only eats non-dairy ice cream. And so what do you get? You get non-dairy, vanilla, plant-based, vegan ice cream. You might as well have just licked the walls. It would have tasted the same, right? So if you try to make everyone happy, you're going to end up making no one happy because all 12 of those people or 20 of those people, no one said vanilla. No one actually wants that. And so if you have trouble promoting your church to your community, getting your community aware, and you seem like no one's paying attention, no one cares, we're very forgettable, it's because you're trying to be everything to everyone. Paul said he's going to be everything to everyone. You and I can be everything to everyone. Your church as an organization, as a gathering, cannot. And a good example of that is your sermons. Do you have an English sermon? Do you have a Spanish sermon? Do you have a Korean sermon? Do you have a Chinese sermon? Do you have an Indian sermon? Do you have a Spanish sermon? Do you have a German sermon? Ooh, I've never said that before. German sermon. No, you don't. You have a sermon in English, okay? It doesn't mean you're neglecting all the other native language speakers in your community. and you don't care about them, you don't love them, is that you're not equipped to communicate, to share the gospel with them. Okay. I had a little hiccup there. So you have to understand that in order to make your church, all that to say, in order to make your church the one that people want to visit, you need to present yourself as the one that person wants to visit. Okay. So if I'm an English speaking church, I'm not going to go promote myself in Korean speaking language communities because they're not going to want to come to my church. And I'm just going to waste my time, energy, and neglect the people I can minister to if I continue to go after these people and just, I'm doing the Chris Tucker, can you understand the words that are coming out of my... No, we're not doing that. We're going after the English speakers because we only speak English. We understand that, okay? If you don't have a kids ministry or you don't have a thriving college ministry, right? You may want to build that up sometime, but in the meantime, you're going to focus on the families that you can minister to or the older generation that you can minister. Or maybe you've got a great, like the children's ministry makes up most of your budget. Then you want to go after the families with kids. Doesn't mean you don't love the singles. Doesn't mean you don't love the retired because the retired have grandkids too. Doesn't mean you don't love all those people. It means that God has equipped us with the resources to reach this group of people in a unique way. And so in order for my church to be the one that they want, I need to make sure that I promote what my strengths are, what my church is equipped to do and how we do it, so that when they see all the churches, they see ours and says, that's the one for me. That's how you get people to know that you're the one to visit, is because they understand that your church is uniquely planted, equipped, and grown to serve them. And if you try to say you're going to serve everyone, you're going to showcase that you can't serve anyone. And the data shows that here. I'm going to pull up the data now, and we're going to take a look at this. Okay, jump to page. I know this is just riveting. I love watching these share screens, but man, I'm not good at them. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen here. We are going to look at this here. We're talking about the ideal church, the look and feel of church community. Now, they surveyed these people and said, hey, tell me about your ideal church and then tell me about the church you're going to, and let's compare the two. Let me ask you this before I show the chart. Do you think that people's ideal church is very different from their current church? Or do you think they line up pretty similarly? They probably, I don't know what your answer is, but my guess was like they're probably going to line up because who would want to go to a church they don't like, right? So look at this. They asked all these people, they said, hey, tell me about they kind of gave a dichotomy, a binary of answers here, right? Do you want a church that's more familiar or that's more novel? Do you want a church that's more authentic or more professional? Do you want a church that's more relaxed or more exciting? More spontaneous or rehearsed? Intimate or anonymous? Community or privacy? Solemn or entertaining? Participatory or watchable? Variety or consistency? I'm going to say that one again. Variety or consistency? People want consistency. Energetic or reflective? Formal or casual? Exhilarating or calming? Loud or quiet? Guess which one won that one? Quiet. Right? So when they polled people, and I'm reading the data here, I'm like, man, why do all these churches, and I'm guilty of this too, why are we chasing after exciting, loud, up-tempo, energetic worship services when people seem to actually want a little bit something different? Right? A good example is relaxed or exciting. There are certain people that would love to go to an exciting worship service every Sunday. People like us, that might be exhausting, okay? But if I can go to a relaxed one where I can actually like calm, reflect, and not be stressed out every week, then hey, I'm pretty cool with that. And apparently the data, okay? So I'm going to go through these and we're going to look at what most people prefer. In both the ideal church and the current church, like the church they're currently going to, people like familiarity. So you don't need to be changing things every week. Familiarity is good. Even sermon series, right? Andy Stanley, like their stage looks the same, but when he does sermon series, they decorate the stage. It looks good, but it's still familiar. I can still tell it's the North Point stage. Authentic or professional. What do these two terms mean? I'll let you think that, but people prefer authenticity over professionalism. Now, You may say, well, if people prefer that, then why do these churches, these great grand rehearsed churches exist? Because there's still 26% of 1 in 4 people still want that church. Okay. But a vast majority, again, I'm talking to those churches, sub 300 local church, just trying to get by, trying to serve their local community, impact their community, grow their kingdom in the context of the local municipality. 3 out of 4 people want your authentic church. Okay. Spontaneous or rehearsed has a little bit of the most differential between the two. People said ideally it is a little bit more spontaneous, but currently they're about the same. It's about half spontaneous, half rehearsed. Okay. Intimate or anonymous. This one's a big one. Okay. People in the majority want a more intimate church atmosphere than anonymous. And I think so many times we sell ourselves we allow people to sell us what we sell ourselves. Okay. So if we think, well, people just want to come in and be anonymous and leave, like there are people like that, apparently 1 out of 3 people, but there are more people who want to come in and actually want to be intimate. The problem is they don't know how. They don't know how to initiate that conversation, especially the younger folk, right? People want in-person intimacy and relationships, but they don't know how to initiate that. And so when they come in and leave, we think, well, that's just what they wanted. They want an anonymity. No, they wanted someone to go talk to them. So knowing this, 2 out of 3 people that are going to walk in your building, like they want you to come up and greet them and learn their name. Same thing with community and privacy. People want community more than privacy. Solemn and entertaining are pretty close to even. Same thing with participatory and watchable. And the ideal church, it's pretty much split down the middle. In the current church, it's more participatory than watchable. So, hey, like that's totally fine. I would prefer participatory church myself. Variety or consistency, a little bit leaning towards consistency. Energetic or reflective, again, around 60% to 40% want reflective. Actually, it's closer to 65-35. Want reflective. Casual or formal, no surprise there. Actually, people want casual. Calming or exhilarating, 75 to 25 want calming. Meaning 75% of respondents actually wanted calming worship services than exhilarating. And I think sometimes energetic can be calming, but hey. And then quiet and loud. I thought this was interesting. Okay, people want quiet, 77 to 23 or 71 to 29. Around 75 to 25 prefer something quiet. So people overwhelmingly gravitate, listen to this. People overwhelmingly gravitate toward churches that are calming, reflective, and relaxed. If you look at your church, not as a leader, right? Nothing's ever calming, reflective, or relaxed when you're leading church. But as a leader, if you look at your service and say, you know what, this actually, it's not energetic, it's not loud, it's not upbeat, it's calm. We're relaxed here. We do a lot of reflecting than a lot of shouting. Your church is the one that people are already looking for because that's what they want in an atmosphere. Community is favored over privacy, familiarity over novelty, and intimacy over anonymity. A deep desire, this is Barna talking, a deep desire for an experience of connection in a church environment is palpable in these results. I've been listening to a preacher that uses that word a lot too. There are some generational differences which we can talk about, but we're running up on time here. So let's break that down. Listen, notice that the preferred atmosphere again goes against what many leaders are chasing. Okay, calm, reflective, and relaxed. Not upbeat. Let's get this. Hillsong song. No, we don't need that every week. It's great for a youth conference. It's great for like the youth band playing in Sunday service. But most people, in an atmosphere, they want something calm, reflective, and I feel like a lot of pastors are chasing that. When the data shows that your community, when they want like a faith community, they want something that's not quite that. Okay. And so people, another thing too, let me pull up this graph again, because this really surprised me too. If you look now, I'll have a hard time explaining this for the audio listeners, which is a majority, by the way. It's why I'm spending so much time sharing what's on the screen, because most of my listeners, most of my viewers, consumers, I don't know what you call them, followers are listening on audio. But they ask people, tell me about your ideal church and then tell me about your current church. In almost every category, all but one. How many are there? 9, 12, 13? All but one, 12 out of 13 if my quick scan is right. their current church actually matches their ideal church within like 5 points of each other. Meaning that the people that want familiarity, they go to a church that's familiar. The people that want novelty go to a church that's novel. The people that want a relaxed church are going to a relaxed church. The people that want an exciting church are going to an exciting church. Same thing with all these, exhilarating or calming, formal or casual, right? 27% of people want a formal church. 30% are going to a formal church. What does this mean for us? This means that people are finding churches that match their ideal church. My story is very similar, right? When we moved, we wanted a church that had a heavy discipleship focus. Our discipleship group in my last church changed our family's life. I mean, really just totally impacted it. Life-changing in so many ways. So we wanted something similar, and we just could not find a church around here until we actually eventually did, Home Church Network. And so that became our church because that matched our ideals of what kind of atmosphere we want in a church. And so people are finding a church that's their ideal match, and most people are going to match with your church. More, I should say, are going to match with your church than you might think or believe. Okay? So don't get all hung up on the loud voices here. Don't get hung up on our insecurities, which are often loud voices, right? You heard the term squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I think so many squeaky wheels want something high, energetic, and pastor, you should dress like this and talk like this, and our worship band should look like this, and we need to do this. And they're like, yeah, I want this kind of church because they're at your church. They're in that 3% that are like, this is my ideal church, but I'm not there because this is my current church, right? They're in that 3%, but that 3% makes up 80% of what we hear. Don't get bogged down in what a few people are telling you. Real life is not Twitter. Real life is not the person that comes in every day talking to you. Real life is the people that are trying to get by, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to take care of their kids, trying to do a good job. And the one time they come to church is they come on Sundays and they go because they want something relaxed, casual, intimate, community. They don't go for the preaching. They go for the community. The one caveat is generational differences. Okay. Although most respondents favor reflective church environments, Gen Z prefers energetic services and millennials reflective services by slight margins. So, depending on who you're equipped to go after, okay, not who you want to go after, who you're equipped to go after. We talked to a client a couple weeks ago who realized we're revitalizing, and I thought we were revitalizing to serve a younger group of people, but I'm realizing that God's equipped us and revitalizing us to go after the people that are 50 to 80 that our community is leaving behind because our community is getting younger and they don't fit in anywhere. So our church is actually equipped to serve and disciple these people. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little realization there in our meeting, which is how marketing can so well help our ministries. So how do you promote these? Okay, number one, people who can serve, people who you can serve will look for you and choose you when they find you. Meaning, if I want a calm, communal, intimate type of church, I'm going to go looking for that kind of church. But I'm not going to choose you if I don't know you exist. This is why becoming going away from being the best kept secret to becoming the best known is so important. Because your church is equipped to reach certain people, and those people are out there in your community in numbers that are greater than you could believe, but they don't know you exist because you're not showing up when they're searching. So you've got to promote yourself. You've got to get your name out there. If you want to make a bigger impact, if you want to grow the kingdom, you want to open up new discipleship opportunities, you have got to promote yourself and get yourself out there, because whenever you're not doing it, someone else is. And I'm not talking about other churches. I'm talking about the enemy. I'm talking about TV. I'm talking about secular religion. I'm talking about addiction, abuse, really, even though they may not think it's that, okay? Self-harm. Even things that we like. Hollywood, movies, gaming. Those things are like filling that hole because we're not making our presence aware. So promote yourself and promote you. Okay? Promote what makes you you. Don't lie. Don't feel like you have to match the church, right? You may be a church of 30, and the church across the street is at 1,700. You don't have to promote like they do. Promote like you do. You're going to bring some hardcore people that don't want, like my family, we don't want that 1,700 person church. I'd rather the 30 person church. Okay. And stop trying to serve everyone or you will serve no one. Okay. Because again, if we look at this chart, if you say, well, yeah, you know what? We are a relaxed a church, but it's exciting to be relaxed. But we do have exciting services. It's exciting when God moves here, but we're relaxed. Okay. I understand what you're trying to say, but to the people that want a relaxed service, they're going to see that and say, oh, well, he said exciting. I don't want exciting. I want relaxed. And the people that are looking for an exciting church are going to be like, well, he said relaxed. I don't want relaxed. I want exciting. Now I'm dumbing it down extremely. Okay. We might say this like, hey, we have a fantastic community here. We'd love to know your name. And if you want to just walk in, shake a hand, sit down, we're not going to pressure you. Okay. So again, the person that's looking for privacy is saying, well, they want to build a community. I'm going to walk in. They're going to shake my hand. I don't want that. I don't want to go check out what this church is. No, thanks. And at the same time, the people that want community are like, well, if they're cool with me coming in and I can chase after me, they must not care about me. I'm not going to go in. You see how you can't be everything to everyone, and that's okay. Okay. Well, it's not, ideally, right, in a pre-fallen world, we'd all be the same church, right? But that's not the case. Okay. So it's okay to say, hey, you know what? We're not exciting. We're going to shake your hand. We're going to learn your name. There are people that want that. Or like an introverted client we have in Arkansas. Hey, when you come in, we're just going to tell you what Jesus is about. We're going to let him get intimate with you. And we're going to be here if you need us. But hey, we're just glad you're here. Sometimes being in community for these people, these introverted people that are, again, being left behind by other churches, sometimes it's cool just to to do community by just sitting next to each other, right? How many times do we just want to sit next to our spouse and read the paper or read a book while they play on their phone, right? You're not being intimate. You're not, dialoguing or building up a relationship, but you're in the same room together and it feels good. Right? So, you don't have to be everything to everyone, because if you try to do that, you're going to show that you're what everyone doesn't want. Okay. It never works out the other way. You don't say we're everything and they say, oh, they've got what I like. It's, oh, they're doing things I don't like. I don't care for. So no, thanks.